Welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 Derby City Classic. This is the second of 3 divisions, and we are in round 3. It is the one pocket division, and I am your host, Scott Frost. As you see on your screen, we have 2 world-class players in their own right. Alex Pagulayan really needs no introduction, a master of all games, including snooker. Then Robb Saez, really noted as a rotation player, but don't let him fool you. He can play one pocket with the best of them. It is a race to 3. It is win or break. Obviously lag for the break. First person to make 8 of any ball in their designated pocket wins the game. 3 foul rule is in effect. Move 2 or more balls. That is considered a foul. You move 1, your opponent has the option of putting it back. No jump cues allowed. So touching on the break, Alex is breaking from the left side. His pocket is automatically the upper right pocket. Neither of these players have a loss, and that is not the way Pagulayan wanted to start this out early in round 3. Saez is the type that could beat him if you get to look. He can run the balls. He's a great shot maker. He's got to look at the 11. If the 11 wasn't there, though, he'd be in a bit of a pickle, I believe. So he has to probably connect with the 9 here, which is nearest the 2. I think you want to slam these, because if you slam them, something real good could happen. Okay, oh, he didn't want to catch the 8, so the only reason he checked it and he caught it too thick was the 8 must have been wired, but it is no longer. Even if it plays off the 6, that is just risque. I felt like maybe taking a little bit of a chance coming up high, but can't argue with him if the 8 was wired, and that's obviously what was happening. He just caught the 11 too thick. Using that inside English, you know it's going to turn in on you a little bit, the cue ball. Now I think you've got to come off the 15 here, send it to your side, and tuck him under the 3 and 1. You can open the cue ball up a little bit with an outside ball or a left ball. Almost like a drag. You can catch the 15 pretty heavy or full. It's obviously the very beginning of this match. I don't think you want to take the heat as you're looking at the 2-6. Just don't want to try too much here just because you didn't get there in shot number 1. And this might be where a little inexperience resides. Is he looking at the 4, 7, 5, 2, 6? I mean, the only way you can get to the 2 is from the 4. But I mean, you're just asking for too much there. There's a big gap between the 4 and 7, huge gap between the 5 and 7, and then a massive gap between the 5 and 2. Then you got a gap between the 2 and 6. So for me, that consideration would be out the window. And I think that him not getting on the combination or just clipping the 8 the way he did has probably got him thinking a little bit more this route due to not getting where he wanted to get. We oftentimes tend to resort towards the aggressive when something goes not as planned. And I think the 8 off the 6 is just as difficult, even if it looks good from there. I think it's a much higher percentage than the 5 ball combination. But the problem is you've really got no good cue ball here. And you're in a position to get out of his break with 1 to the good. Coming off the 15. Yeah, you don't want to leave the 15 there. And now he's opened 14 up, so Pagulayan going to be happy with that. Looking to get him in between the 6 and 8, I would assume. It actually kind of creeped through there to where Robb can get to the 5, I believe. He might have wired the 3 up. Funny how those things tend to happen at times where you're never really thinking about what the object ball's doing when you have all the focus on the cue ball. Yeah, if you can get to the 1 somehow here and the 3 is close, like I think if you can catch the bottom side of the 1, it throws the 3 upward. Because it looks like it might be going a tick low. I think you've got to take a chance, like 2-rail kicking to the bottom of the 1 with like an extreme lift ball. The 1's coming up, the cue ball is coming up, and the 3 is going towards your pocket. This is okay, but I think he's going to, the problem is that if you don't get him in behind the 3 and 1, Alex is going to do something with him. Well, the 3 was. Look at this. The 3 was on. It just drifted up a bit. Alex has a 1-10 combination. So a couple of shot selections questionable for Robbie. In his defense, doesn't play the game a lot. Actually, I don't think he plays it ever, to be honest with you. Except for here. Pagulayan. So much to be said about him and what he's done for the sport. Great personality. So talented. But in my opinion, probably the greatest IQ in the game of 1 pocket, without a doubt. Today, anyway. Efren had a different style. Efren was very creative around the stack with the kicks and the banking and a lot of different things. The 2-way plays. He was the best to ever live. Alex is more the type that's just going to figure out what's right. Yeah, kind of like that there. And I'm a little surprised he didn't play the 1-10 combination. But maybe felt like there wasn't a big future. It was a little steep. Is there room to come off the bottom of the 14 or like the middle half of it? Tuck down there past the 12. Tough. 8 looks like a big ball to get past. I don't think he did too bad there. Yeah, but if we look back, at the 15, just coming off that, getting it to your side, you've got something working for you. So that ended up costing him pretty good. This is the only angle I have. It's the best angle we could ask for. There are things down there around the stack that I'm not going to see. that they clearly can see. Now, if he could see, like, the middle half of the 4, he could punch it towards the 6, 2, 9, 8. Now, he's done good there. Elevating with a right ball to check it off that second rail. But, that being said, I don't feel like this is the end of the world for Robb. Especially with the 5 where it's at. I think you can shoot the 5 into the 7 and remove a couple of balls right there. 7 could come to your side. Just tuck once again past the 12. The 4 really helping you out there because the 9 covers it up for protection if you don't get him behind the 10. He's looking at it. These balls are not in the worst position for Robb. You can just draw straight towards the right side of the 10 if you'd like. Just stay away from the corner. It's fine. That is absolutely fine. Looking down here to the lower left corner. Is he considering coming off the 12 maybe? Jiggle that up a little bit? Or just take a foul? He's just taking a look. Could cross the 8 over and come down. Could come off the 7. Can't tell though if he can see the 7. I don't think he can. A little surprised. I don't think he can open the 12 up enough. You've got to hit it so thin because Robb will shoot at the 4. He knows the longer this goes, the worse off it is for him. Yeah, he did get him open. A lot of distance. Didn't get that cue ball glued down here, but did pretty good with it. Did he let him see the 10? He can stick on the 1. There's possibly some other options too. Nothing goes from this right side of the table down here. 5 doesn't pass the 14. I'm just looking at potential options. Could you roll the 13 in? Nah, it's no good really. I love sticking on the 1. Yeah, very good. Didn't really get anything splattered to his side like I think he was looking for, but still good cue ball. And 15-10 now could pose a problem for Alex in the future. This lower right corner is still available for Robb. So considering the 6, maybe 1 rail into the bottom of the 8, bring the cue ball down here to the lower left. Coming off the 5 is no good. Bringing him down here in the lower left. The 7-2 in the way. Going at the 6. Ooh. Ooh. A double ooh. Yeah, the cluster over there. Not pretty. That is definitely in favor of Robb. Kind of a weird situation here. Saez needs 7. Pagulayan still needs 8. You can always do something with this stripe right here in the lower right corner. Just maybe roll it softly to the right long rail. Keep Alex covered up on the 4. Yeah, you could just bunk the 13 to the right long rail. This is kind of, an issue when you don't play the game. Everything starts to get a little blurry. Doesn't quite see anything jumping out at him. Sometimes, though, in one pocket, the most simple move can be the right play. 7-2 are kind of working for you here. If you want to just roll that 13 to the right long rail softly, just barely get the 13 to the rail, keep the cue well down here, just left of that lower right diamond. It's going to provide cover on the 4. Alex might come off the 9 at that point, but then you can earn a possible bank on the 8, possibly on the 7. You never know. But I wouldn't do anything down here, meaning like the top right corner. I wouldn't kick at the 12. I wouldn't do anything with the 4. That's the only thing kind of going for you here. And I think the 8's actually helping you in a lot of ways. 13 is really the shot for me in this situation. Yeah, be careful there if you're trying to come off that 8. The top right corner's huge. I don't know why he's forcing this issue down here. Yeah, the top right corner is huge. It's never even looked at the 13, which can happen if you don't play the game a lot. But you know those balls right away when you play one pocket. A one pocket player going to recognize all those balls tied up, and then the 5 doesn't go by the 15, so take advantage. That whole side is working for you. Whereas a lot of guys kind of panic and think, oh, they've got them on their side. I've got to do something down here, when it's actually not the case. Open season for Pagulayan, and so many layers to his game. He's got the offense, he's got the defense, he's a shot maker. And he's a very clear thinker. He's got options here. He can stay above the 11, he can stay above the 8. Is he just drifting this in? Okay, he's stunning. A little different there that I haven't noticed. He was aimed high, then went more towards the stun. Never really noticed Alex doing that, and I've played him hundreds of hours. Coming to the back of the 3 here. Softly, I would assume. Very good. In tight areas, in my opinion, One of the best, if not the best, with the cue ball. Playing for 4. Can go to the 9 now if you'd like. Just got to get above the 4. You don't want to be below the 9, I don't believe. Unless you think you can just kind of go into the 4. Decided to just come straight to the 11. Can't ever fault that decision. Always going to be there. Yeah, I thought he might go to the 9 first there and just try and stun around the 4 or into it. This is fine. Overrun the mark just a bit. Playing for 2. Can play a bank on the 9 or the 4 if you happen to miss contact with him. Could try to draw back for the 5. Player preference. Hard to tell exactly how it's laying where he's at. Yeah, and I don't really think you can go wrong coming back behind the 5. Leveling out. I am just taken back by that. I thought all along he was cutting the 15. Really cinching Saez up. Taking no chances. Until now. I'm shocked he cut that ball. He played the bank and then cut the 9. Why didn't you cut the 9 earlier? Pagulayan. One ball comes up. So Robbie has a slight chance here. A breath of hope. Can you stun into the back of the 9 off the right long rail? Or do you even take that chance? Do you just try to rip the 1? Hope for the best. I play a lot of 1 pocket, so I'm kind of, and that's what he's looking at there. So I'm kind of versed at knowing where to go on that long rail. Most 1 pocket players are. Just kind of taking a chance, right? You know you're not going to scratch unless you completely let up on the stroke. A lot of good things can happen. I think it's worth a shot. Trailing 6-0. Easy to overthink situations. Especially in 1 pocket. I see it all the time. And I understand it. Only problem with this is if you don't get there, you can trap yourself. It's kind of why you gotta dig to the 9. You hit the 1 well. Now you really got no choice, but you have to bury the 15 here. Then you can rip the 9 if you don't get on something like the 5. I don't believe the left side pocket's in. Maybe the lower right corner, not the left side. So I think once you, and you are above the 15, you're close to it, so it's something you should get down. But once you are on that ball, you have to just commit to it. No other thought going through your mind. Like, if I miss this ball, do not let those thoughts creep in. It looks to me like he's fighting those demons just a bit. Yeah, really working that chalk out. He's a rhythm player playing rotation, doesn't give himself too many opportunities to fail or make mistakes. And if I were to work with Robbie, I would say, listen, you want to keep that pretty quick pace. Because the longer you think in this game, the easier it is to make a mistake. Once you see the shot, you just kind of got to commit to it. You know that that's what you've got to do, so you just don't allow anything else into the mind. Try to keep that flowing rhythm that you have. That's what works best for you. Pagulayan straight in. Can go to the 6, I believe. Open it up with the 12. And he's done just that. Playing for 1. Pagulayan going to win game number 1. Robb did a pretty good job early. He did clip the 8 and would have had a big lead, possibly win the game. If he doesn't, caught the 11 a little bit thick. That was the result of catching the 8. But neither here nor there. The best player won game number 1. And Saez keep his break. That's what you're going to have to do. Here, you do not want to be trailing 2 games to 0 in a race to 3. The equipment. We are playing on a 4.5 by 9 foot black diamond. It is a blue label. They are pro cut pockets. Aramith pool balls, Simonis cloth. So the equipment is as good as it gets. And the pockets are fair for everybody. Deep shelves. The longer this event goes, the tighter it plays. You can't take it for granted. Derby City Classic, if you haven't been to it, it's a must. Put it on your bucket list. Make it out next year. 500 plus players in each event. You can play. We'd love to have you. It is a full week of pool. If you happen to do good in the banks, you're going to overlap into the 1 pocket and so forth. That is a re-rack, something I did not mention. Of course, you make a ball on the break. It is a re-rack. It did not used to be like that back in my era. You made a ball on the break, you continued to shoot. I think this is a better rule. I didn't like it back when I was playing because, of course, I think it benefited me, but that being said, this is fair for everyone. And the key, in my opinion, to why this game is such an amazing game is you've got a chance to defend yourself. Whereas in rotation pool, these guys are so good. It's always kind of been the problem, being able to defend yourself. That's what Matchroom has come up with the 9 on the spot, tighter pockets on the tour. Definitely made the game playable. So he's using a high cue ball, and what happens there is the minute it deflects off the 3, it backs up a little bit versus goes through the ball. See how it kind of deflected out? He got a little quick there in the backswing as well. Obviously pretty firm, not real comfortable, Robbie. You can tell, understandably. but a lot of the elite players will break the balls with kind of a drag stroke. They'll use a low inside ball and allow that cue ball to turn over prior to contact. What happens there is it drives the cue ball through the object balls quite a bit better. Yeah, really showing respect to Robb. I thought he could cross that and just come up towards this right long rail where the cue ball is now, maybe a little higher. I think he kind of got away with it. The 9 covering up the 5. Looking at the 1. That tells your opponent a lot, but you can't fault him there. Could leave him down here on the bottom rail, but if you're playing the 1, or if I'm playing the 1, I'm not sure what the 9 looks like. I believe that's the 10-9 combination. If I'm playing the 1, I think I play it to make it. And the 1 rolled almost perfectly straight. Cue ball finished well. And I guess when I said I would play it to make it, I'm kind of talking more about just stunning the cue ball out for position. The way Robb hit it was great. Yeah, I feel like you've got to kick the 14 here. Just take your chance. Getting the 14 to your side. Might splash the stack with it. You can catch the middle to upper half of the 14. Cue ball will track down this way. As long as that ball is there, you're going to have to defend against it, which could potentially pose some big problems. You got to catch the upper half of this ball, though, if you're kicking at it. Okay. He's left the 9. So overamped on the break shot. Now this. I can't, maybe that is the 1. I can't tell. I apologize. I think that's the 1 actually. 9 is with the 10 as I mentioned. But can Alex go forward? Yeah, so Alex was looking at the 5 and the 11 pretty intently. Can he twist the 9 back or the 1 back and draw to the 9 softly? Does he really like the 11 where he wants to splash the 1 towards the 5? Maybe this angle on the bank is a little steeper than it looks. Doesn't have to do any of that. Could just do something with the 12. Oh boy, this was mishit. Like all types of ways. I don't know what he was trying to do there. I thought all along he was going to twist the 1 back. Yeah, take another look here. He's good on the 1. Okay, I think he was trying to bank that into the 9, which would go into the 8, 5, 11. Almost fluked the 14 in. That would have been sick. Now, Robb, this is where you take your time and make sure you know what you want to do. And that's not it. That is not it. He had to use his opposite hand. Therefore, tougher to generate power. Love to have been able to go into those balls with a lot more steam. you got to be real careful. If you're going to kick to the 14, you've got to get really deep behind it and soft. Soft. You're too firm. You just got to baby that. Just baby it. Because you can actually put your man in a little bit of a trap doing that. You don't worry about how much of the 14 you leave by the pocket. You more so worry about leaving the cue ball by the pocket and using the 14 and 11 as cover. He knows. Now, open season again. He's got another look at the 9. Can come down like towards the 12. Now he's missing everything. Again, he's missed the pile. Did have a check English on the cue ball. He's missed the pile 2 times in a row now with the object ball. And both times I thought he could just twist the 9 back towards the 11 and 14 or towards the pocket. Not going to argue with his decisions. Just mis-executed. Which... obviously, he's human. Can happen. I don't mind this coming off the 7. You want to get deep into the 14 again. And now he's under hit it. Now he hit it thin enough. Yeah, very good. He hit it thin enough. I thought he'd catch more 7 ball to maybe open the pile up a little bit off the back rail there. But you can't argue that shot at all. He did great with the cue ball. Cut Alex off of the 12. Now he can come off the 9. But this lower right corner is a pretty big pocket coming off the 9. Why do I say that? Well, he has to avoid the 2. He's got to catch this ball thin.
We'll do that, and we'll get things underway here in about 15 minutes. Who's going to be the 2025 Bigfoot 10-ball champion?
And he has found that lower right corner that I just touched on. So not a clean performance by any means yet by the Lion. Robb is looking at everything but the 10, so that tells me the 10 does not go. Luckily for Pagulayan. You're looking at the 5-6, even from where he's at now. If it's tough, cue ball behind the head string, it's going to be even tougher. Dangerous. You just got to assume that Pagulayan can play the 11 off the 14 from anywhere around the 3. If Robb thinks that coming towards the 3 is pretty safe, I would beg to differ. So this must be laying pretty good, the 5 and 6. Yeah, he didn't hit it very well. Felt like the 5 was kind of going high all along, so he had to back cut the 6 with an extreme outside ball. Look at this layout here. Alex playing for 7. Excuse me, he owed 1. Playing for 8 now. They are there. He'll pick off what he can first before trying anything risky. Like to get the 2 out of the way as soon as possible.
In day 1, it was Joshua Filler over Jeffrey DeLuna. Then yesterday,
towards the center here, but not that far.
He beat Chekhov to move into the Final Four. And then yesterday,
perfect. Absolutely perfect cue ball.
Or was that earlier today? That was earlier today. The days are mixed up. You ever get that? You don't even know what day it is here at the Derby, I tell you. But anyway, Miller has defeated Gomez, Robb, and Luna to make it to the championship.
Maybe a little bit of panic from Saez with ball in hand behind the line just because of the way the balls were laying.
Then Alex Pagulayan. And then Martinez just a little bit ago to make it
Into the 8 nicely.
It's Peace Lewis and Joshua Miller, last year's defending champion.
All types of options as to how you want to run these balls. Do you have to go to the 7 now and open those up? I don't think so. Yeah, that's where you go count the balls. You need 5, they're there. You will not shoot the 7. Playing for 3. Doesn't want to get straight, but he can bank the 5. Playing for 1. I don't see him worrying too much about the 8. I think you just commit. Oh, he really turned it to keep Robbie off of the 8. That being said, Pagulayan's break, and he's on the hill. Just some key mistakes, maybe overthinking things a little bit. Saez. I believe Alex will break with a lower inside ball and allow it to drag. Doesn't have to be an extreme low ball. It's more of a center at times, but you're kind of just dragging the cue ball versus a high ball. So he's aimed high there, but I think he'll there. Now he's going more towards the center. Yeah, and he actually didn't drag it. It carried the spin all the way. He's gone straight into the upper right. So he's going to 0-1 again. Robbie's got to be thinking, man, I didn't expect to have this many opportunities playing this guy. And once again, I personally feel like you've got to play to your strengths. I wouldn't overthink this too much. Just bury the 1 and go towards the 14-2. You'd love to be able to catch a piece of the 14 first here. I'm sure the shot looks pretty difficult after the last couple of racks. Yeah, he didn't quite deserve all that. He hit the 1 well. But you can stun this forward, the 3. Banking it to the upper right. Might be able to roll it. I think he's got to stun it just a little bit. He might track right towards the 11 if you do that. You got to make something happen, though. You've got to play to your strengths if you're going to beat Pagulayan. So stay aggressive here. Yeah. Just not going to do it. And then you did have the angle I kind of assumed where the 3 was floating towards the bottom rail up there. So I felt like if he stunned it, he would have had a real good chance of making it and possibly getting on the 6. Now there is a pretty good shot here if you kick to the bottom side of the 3. It's kind of a snap draw. He's going to go away from it. He was initially going to shoot it. Pretty clever, and that's the layers I'm talking about. Pagulayan has it all. Not afraid to take a foul, not afraid to give one up. And just like that, makes one for Saez. It benefits his own position by massive percentages. Yeah, like you're in a big pickle here just because of where the 6 is so far off the rail. Kicking below it is danger. I think that's as good as he could do. Saez is going to go back to 1 to the good. The Lion, 1 to the bad. He does a 1. Can you go forward on the 7 here? Just, he's going to keep it tight, nice and tidy. Yeah, Robb might be forced to bank at the 9. He does not want to have to kick over those balls. Banking the 9 is kind of like feeling, well, I guess it's kind of like going to the grocery store, filling your cart up, getting the checkout lady, and forgetting your wallet. It's kind of what that's like, right? You're banking this 9 and you have really no future.
And also a heads up, if you got into the drawing for the big prize where you're away the airmen tournament balls, make sure that you're in the arena here the next 5 minutes for to do that drawing. All right? You got to be here to win.
And he's got it down. So maybe the person behind you will loan you some money and he can bank the 12. But that person is a collector for the mob. And if you don't make it, well, you're in big, big trouble. Really, in just no-win positions. Can you bank the 5 towards the 13, cross the 13 over, and just tuck between the 15 and 2? Something Alex is very good at, I would say, in my era. 30, 40 years ago, I was decent at it. But you're really not thinking of gluing him to the 2 and 15. Just tuck in between that gap there a little bit, because Alex is never going to cut the 15. And he tried, kind of, but I think he tried to do more by knocking the 15 towards his pocket for the 13. So, gonna be big trouble here. Alex can back cut the 15 to the 11 if he gets a free cue ball. might be able to play the 15 off the 13, but where's the 13 go? This all really started from the 3 ball that Pagulayan made for Robb. Yeah, he's going to get a good cue ball here. If he doesn't make it, Robb's still in jail. Well, not as good a cue ball as I thought. I mean, it's not obviously bad down here to the lower left. But that being said, I thought that he could get into it more. But he did overcut the object ball by some margin. Can you go into the 15 first, or is the 13 got you snookered? If you got to go to the 11, you just want to hit it soft. It's pretty firm. Well, you couldn't have done better. Great shot by Robb there to cover the 6 up. Great shot. I mean, very, very good to be in this position. Still grim, but not near as bad. Shoot through the 3. Get down here where his cue is. And if he's talking about being right there, that tells me that maybe that even cuts the 11 off. Coming off the stripe down here. Tougher to get there now. Gonna use the 3 as cover though. Needs to carry. Pretty good cue ball. Yeah. Made that look a lot easier than it was, but now you can come off the 5 heavy, I believe. You know what? Robb's going to take a quick break. So am I. Be right back. Robbie is back. Some of you may have noticed Alex does 0-1. He spotted the 3. But Robb does have 2. There's 13 on the table. So we'll figure that out at some point here. Confusing us a little bit. Going off the 5, bringing it over. You got to catch it heavy, and catching it heavy, the more I'm looking at it, the tougher it is. Catching it thick might send you towards the 15, actually. I don't know how you can avoid the 15, to be honest with you. So you're looking to bank it forward and then trickle behind the 15? Like you're banking it almost towards the 13, which does you no good. That just tells you how bad a spot he's still in. If you have a window to the 11, is there any value to even that, though?
Then after the championship, we'll have a quick interview, we'll do some pictures, and then we're going to take this Bigfoot out. And then we're going to do...
What's he sniffing out here? Boy, nothing looks... Unless it's the 4. Looking at the 7, the 4, 8, off the 14 into the 7. Yeah, that is, when there was really no reward either. So that is not going to get it done. The 4 went high. And the problem with the shot he shot was he used a high cue ball. So if you're playing a ball off a ball with a high cue ball, you're actually going to draw the object ball a little bit. So maybe if he could have elevated and kind of dragged through or punched through, it would have drove the 4 down a little bit more, but then you don't get a low cue ball. So you're kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't, choosing that shot. I believe Alex still owes 1, but maybe he doesn't believe that. I know he has not yet made anything in his pocket. But he did spot the 3. Neither here nor there. He's got plenty to choose from.
Fans and ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2025 Derby City Classic.
Yeah. There are a lot of balls available. The 8 does play, I believe. The 7 might even play. This is a one-pocket player's paradise here, having balls laid like this. If you choose to come 2 rails in between the 15 and 13, just don't jack yourself up on the 3 or the 5. That'll work. If you're 7'6". Pagulayan, one of the best with the bridge as well. The little man can reach. It's crazy what he can reach. Oh, that was cute. I love how he drew her straight above the 8. Hard not to get a shot there. Well, he's either playing for 5 or 4. Once again, they are all there. It's been a pretty overwhelming performance by the Lion in this race to 3. Robbie does not have a loss. If he happens to lose this match, he will still stay alive into round 4. And that's going to do it. Pagulayan will move on. Pagulayan without a loss. Always a threat to win this tournament, if not the favorite. Thank you all tonight for tuning in. Until next time, we will talk to you soon.